Hey guys, Ralph here, True Power Trumpet Fitness. And I got 4 words for you today. We are Penn State, baby. I got a lot to tell you. And I have a lot of questions concerning piccolo playing and Baroque playing. Okay? Very simple. Okay? So let's get to it. I have played a little bit. I've run the bike, I'm ready to go. Okay, I want to make this quick. I do have a busy day, and this is very short and sweet, guys. It really is. Okay, let's do it. E-flat trumpet, same thing. I've done this before, but I'll explain in a minute. Okay, a little trumpet shell sound right before Easter. Good lead in, and we'll talk about that in a second. But I got to get back. Penn State, boss. Oh, baby. Let me cry a little bit if I don't get a little weepy. I'm so proud of my daughter. Freshman at Penn State, the #1 on the synchronized swimming team. She finished 12th in the frickin' country in her solo. That was the first time any swimmer, any synchronized swimmer in the history of Penn State that got that high in solo and made the cut, so to speak, the top 12. And they've done well with team and duet and trio, but never once a single swimmer like that. And she is just, and her father and her mother are just on cloud 9. So I want to let you know that. Teresa, I love you. Unfortunately, well, we do have webinar now, so I could see her swim, but unfortunately, my wife has to work. She's a teacher and whatnot and everything. Responsibilities I have, we didn't get there. We will do it again, but that's the case. Now, Baroque playing. I did the exact same thing in a vid a couple months ago, okay? And nothing's new. Nothing's changed. But here's the deal, guys. All of a sudden, all my students are jacking up their range. I mean, to a significant amount, that all of a sudden, all these Baroque pieces and piccolo trumpet pieces that they could never play before, all of a sudden, they can do it. Okay? Now, here's the thing, guys. It's so simple, as opposed to the other conventional methods that they absolutely make a mess out of. And I'll get to that in a second, too. But it's so simple. Guys, yes, these Baroque Brandenburgs and Michael Haydns and Talemans and Handels and all that sort of stuff are very, very high. Okay? But remember, I've said since day one, the trumpet is only an amplifier. You are the one making the sound. And you are the one making the notes. And the trumpet is not going to give you extra notes. Oh, please. You might be able to squeak out another half step, another step, every now and then with a little pressure. But that's not what you're doing. That's not what you should be doing. It's all done in your chops, okay? Now, With that said, just like myself, you should have no problem jumping from one instrument to the other, unlike the conventional teaching, for two reasons. First of all, we're doing it with our lips, and it doesn't matter what size amplifier you have. Okay, so if you can play an A above high C, you can play the Brandenburg. It's as simple as that. And also, here's the kicker. We are using the same mouthpiece on all the instruments. I was using the 1SB on the B flat and the E flat. You saw me change. And there's a 1SB with the Schilke shank in the piccolo. And I could do the same thing with the 1SS. Okay? And that is the secret. There is no reason in the world that if your chops are right and you can play most of the literature, the Baroque literature, is going to be an E above high C. Okay? And if you can play them on the B flat trumpet, there is no reason in the world. It's just going to be easier on the piccolo or the E flat or the D. The D might be easier. I didn't feel like putting the D shanks in my E flat trumpet, so I just did it on a different key. But that's that, guys. I mean, it's not a big deal. Now, the conventional way of doing it, you need a different mouthpiece. You got to get a different shank. You got to, practice months before, to play the Brandenburg. No, you don't. No, you don't. The Brandenburg is nothing more than scales and arpeggios. It just is. And a good flute player who is not sweating the chops can look at our Brandenburg and knock it off, no problem. The music is not a problem. Now, you have to practice it, of course. You can't go and sight read the darn thing. But the problem with this Baroque music is the chops. And if you have the chops to play it, there is no reason in the world you can't play the Brandenburg or the Michael Haydn or any of the other ones. Okay? Now, here's the deal. Are there some nuances? Obviously, the piccolo trumpet is half the size of your B-flat trumpet. So, yes, you're going to have to get a piccolo trumpet and spend a little time on it. Okay? Now, here's another thing I forgot to say. The beauty of how we play makes it so susceptible to the Baroque playing. We're not overblowing. Now, if you are, say, Stan Mark, who all he does is overblow, okay? All of a sudden, a piccolo trumpet, he's going to have to play completely different because it's half the size and the compression is. We're doing the same thing. We are doing the same thing. We don't change one bit how we blow. The only thing about it is with the smaller instruments, since they are smaller, the tongue, especially in staccato parts, is a little more percussive. So you may have to have more longer legato tonguing. La, 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 instead of bum, 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 bum. See, if you're doing it on the piccolo trumpet, that is going to sound very, very short if you're doing it staccato tonguing. Now, the conductor doesn't mind, don't sweat it. But that is the only allowance I make. I have to work on, and there's one other one, I have to work on the legato tonguing a little bit with the piccolo trumpet. Okay? And there's another thing. Guys, with our mouthpiece and the way we play, we are going to be super, super strong. Okay? Now, depending on some settings, the the hall you're playing in, the orchestra you're playing with, the organ you're playing with, the singer you're playing with, you might not be able to play full force. So practice playing pianissimo so you've got it in reserve when you need it. Now, again, pianissimo is no problem for us. No problem for us at all. Dynamics is just more compressing. So this is not only is this true power absolutely the best way to play, it makes Baroque playing so easy. Recently, I've told you, all of a sudden these guys that are tonguing through the teeth, they haven't done it before, and they get a hold of a 1SS or a 1SB mouthpiece, all of a sudden they're playing the Brandenburg that they could never do. Never do in their wildest dreams. All of a sudden it's coming out. Yeah. And guys, you should be able to play the Brandenburg on your B-flat trumpet. If you've really got it, you should be able to do it on your B-flat trumpet. Now, here's the thing. Obviously, the smaller instrument makes it easier to be finesse it. The Brandenburg on the B-flat trumpet sounds like you're honking away. Okay, it really does. Now, it makes it easier to finesse, but also the smaller trumpet is going to give you a little more endurance. So even though you may not be able to play the entire Brandenburg on the B-flat trumpet, there's no reason you can't take 8 16 bars and practice them, take a rest, reset, and then continue. And that is how I suggest all my students practice for these works. Do them on B-flat trumpet, okay? And again, stop when you have to. If the endurance is such that you can't, then you're starting to crash, stop, reset, and continue the phrase, okay? But if you can do it on a B-flat trumpet, the piccolo trumpet or the D trumpet is going to be a breeze, okay? And that is what you're after, ease of playing, especially in a concert setting. So again, Baroque playing, no problem. No problem. You don't have to worry about mouthpieces, quite the opposite. The 1SP is a great Baroque mouthpiece. Great. Anyway, that's it. I hope it answers your questions, and I hope anybody that has an Easter gig can adopt some of this to the Easter gig and enjoy playing. Okay, the trumpet shell sound. I'm definitely taking tomorrow and Sunday off. Okay, so I will see you guys again on Monday. Have a great Easter season if that is your denomination of choice, and if not, have a great weekend. Love you all. Eat your fruits and vegetables. I'll see you Monday.